We'd like to welcome Ruth from Meals on Wheels Takoma Park.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us here today. And I will also add that it's so wonderful to see how AGTW can continue this wonderful event in new ways. And
So before you start, I just want to ask, is that a real orange tree behind you?
It is. It is.
Nice. Wow, look at them go.
Yeah, mandarin tree. And we bring it in the winter and roll it out on the deck in the summer. And yeah, it makes a nice backdrop also.
Fantastic. All right, sorry. Please.
So thank you for your organization and your enthusiasm for my Satsuma tree. I am Ruth Masterson. I am with Meals on Wheels of Takoma Park, based right here in Takoma Park with the mission of delivering healthy, delicious meals to our homebound neighbors. When we were founded fully 50 years ago, we were a very small group with big ideas about how to get homemade, healthy meals to as many of our homebound neighbors as possible. I myself was just a little one in those days and on the West Coast, but to many of our homebound, but to the kind and lovely grown-ups of the day, they were clearly thinking globally and acting locally. They saw that right in the midst of our own neighborhoods, people were slipping through the cracks and going hungry, but it was invisible because those individuals were tucked into their homes and apartments on their own. Elders, people living with disabilities, those recovering from surgery, managing illness or difficult treatments, were experiencing hunger and loneliness. Over the last 5 decades, our scrappy little group has served determinedly thanks to the dedication of my predecessors. And I have been with Meals on Wheels of Takoma Park for the past 2 years, and we are continuing that same commitment. We've also responded to 2 major upheavals. The first was actually in 2019, when another Meals on Wheels program asked us if we could take on all their clients. Of course, we said yes, because we sure couldn't say no. And that seemed like a really big deal at the time, but we quickly learned that it paled in comparison to a global pandemic. So the past 9 months obviously have been a wild ride for everyone. At Meals on Wheels, in the last 2 weeks of March, 75% of our volunteer kitchen assistants and deliverers stepped down because of their age, or they had high-risk conditions, or their families asked them to stop. At the same time, our phone was ringing off the hook with clients wanting to sign on. So in that same period of time, our client base doubled from 65 clients on March 1st to 130 by the end of April. At the same time, more than 150 new volunteers, mostly younger people who were suddenly working from home or in some cases laid off, they stepped forward from the community offering to volunteer. It's an amazing, crazy time. With all the intakes, training new people, we were building the plane as we flew it, adjusting our procedures to keep our volunteers and clients safe from the virus. We're trying to train them even as we are creating new procedures. Through it all, our mission remained laser focused, the core of what we do: deliver healthy, delicious meals to our homebound neighbors who would otherwise go hungry. So I'll talk a little bit about the gifts that you can purchase for the special people on your holiday gift list. These gifts are specifically designed to put food directly into the hands of our participants in a real and measurable way. The first gift is $7, provides a bag lunch and full dinner served hot off the stove for 1 day for a homebound neighbor. The bag lunch is packed by our volunteer kitchen brigade. They are the behind-the-scenes heroes and quite a lively crew. Our cook, Nuncia, is meanwhile cooking the hot meal, preparing an entree and 2 sides that are packed up and delivered to the clients. And I always just am amazed as the food gets cooked and heated, it is packed and delivered. The next gift is $35, gives our clients those same 2 meals a day, but for an entire week. Our service is offered to each of our clients Monday through Friday, day in, day out. Meals are delivered by our really terrific volunteer delivery team. They are our boots on the ground. They get food directly to our recipients, and they do it with kindness and compassion checking in with our clients, and obviously with adjusted procedures during the pandemic, but they keep on delivering. Our third gift is $50, and that translates to 5 days worth of shelf-stable meals. And these are meals that are prepackaged and delivered as snow day boxes. They contain food that will help our recipients stock their pantry and provide sustenance for days we can't deliver. I really could not be more proud of or more impressed by our team and our community, our small staff of part-time neighbors, our volunteers. Thanks to them, our volunteers, and to donors like you in our community, we have not had to decline even one single client. We have lost a fair number of clients during the last 9 months to COVID or mysterious hospitalizations, but we do continue to add new clients every week, and we have over 100 clients still today. More clients means more food needs to be purchased. We use recyclable, compostable, or reusable packaging materials as much as possible, but more clients also means more packaging supplies. More clients means we need more food storage, and it puts a strain on our refrigerators. We've had to replace 2 of them during the pandemic already. More clients means more routes. We grew from 7 routes to 10, and that means more phone calls with clients, more phone calls with their families, and we do that quite a lot, and their loved ones, and also social workers. The work that we do at Meals on Wheels is really wonderful. It's just bigger in every way since the start of the pandemic. Now, as I mentioned earlier, let's see, I guess you'll handle the questions later. So as I mentioned earlier, we have not turned away a single client. We have stretched our space and our hearts and our work hours to meet the need. Specifically in 2019, including the bump of growth when we took on new clients from the other group, we delivered a little over 36,000 meals. This year, 2020, since the beginning of March, this year, 2020 starting in January, but with doubling capacity starting in March, we are on track to deliver more than 43,000 meals by the end of the year. And next year, 2021, we are poised and we anticipate delivering at least 50,000 meals. We are doing this out of the same small kitchen and with the absolute minimum growth in staff. We're growing and changing in other ways as well. So I am delighted to share an announcement. This is the first time I've been able to share it publicly. We are currently seeking a second cook to prepare vegetarian meals. It's a part-time position, but we need the help to be able to do that. And we do already adjust our meals to accommodate allergies, and all of our meals are diabetic friendly already. But this is the first time we have been able to formally offer an alternative meal option. And hiring is open now for that. So if you have any referrals for the position, please reach out to us or to me after today's event. We encourage everyone in Takoma Park and around our neighborhoods to learn more about the local Meals on Wheels services we provide, regardless of your level of connection or interest. I think it's wonderful to know about one another, and also find out what you can do to keep our essential service rolling. You can find us online at our website, www.MOW-Takoma.org. That is MOW for Meals on Wheels and Takoma for Takoma Park. Or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Both are at MOW-Takoma. And thank you for joining me today, and I'm delighted to answer any questions.
Fantastic. Meals on Wheels is a national organization, isn't it?
No, and that's a great question. Meals on Wheels is 5,000 different programs that each spring up independently. The name is not trademarked. Each program does what it wants to do. It is anarchy out there between the programs. Some are tiny, some are large. Many of the smaller programs in our size range don't have their own kitchen because of the cost. They instead contract usually with a hospital and pick up frozen meals that they deliver. And others are enormous, hundreds of staff, thousands of recipients. So it just varies dramatically. There is a national association, but that's a membership association that fewer than half of the Meals on Wheels programs have joined. And they do advocacy on the Hill and a conference. They do wonderful work, but they don't deliver any meals. They're kind of herding cats.
Right. And so you talk a little bit about the meals. I mean, it's not just white bread, mystery meat, piece of cheese wrapped in the saran wrap, right? It's a little bit more than that.
Heavens no, it's not like that. I mean, when you mentioned the bread first, so the bread, most of the bread is donated by Spring Mill Bakery. So it is amazing and absolutely top quality. You know, they mill it themselves and cook it themselves with, you know, minimal ingredients, and it's terrific. We also get some bread donated from Panera, which is very generous of them. In a pinch, we'll buy from the grocery store, but then we always get whole wheat, so not white, not Wonder Bread. We source organic ingredients when we can. Obviously, there's cost issues involved there, but we glean from the Crossroads Community Farmers Market. That's one of our partnerships. So April through November, we get terrific quantities of that food. And we've also been getting about $4,000 a month worth of donated food from places like Whole Foods and farmers markets and other sources. So we are constantly seeking to improve our food quality. We do get standard basic grocery fare as our basic standby, but we're always looking to improve that. And we're successful quite a bit.
Yeah, I know this area. I work with another group over in, I live in Hyattsville, and there's another group over there where we're doing some similar things. And the amount of people who are asking for food right now and the food distributions that are going on
Yes.
during the pandemic is just staggering.
Mhm.
And yeah, I know you mentioned that you had twice as many people coming in asking for food.
Mhm.
But then the nice thing I want to hear it again, that you had volunteers step up.
Yes, yes. So many people. The phone was ringing off the hook with clients and new volunteers. So it was completely chaotic and a huge amount of work, but so wonderful to see the interest and commitment, and that people were thinking of us, and they were willing to, you know, even in the early days when we didn't know as much as we know now, which is still lacking, but people were willing to step up. And you know, we were introducing masks, new procedures, ways to create space between people. But we haven't had any issues. I'm so pleased. There have been certainly no outbreaks, and not even any cases associated with us.
Ruth, last question is, where would these people get food if it wasn't for Meals on Wheels?
I think they would be sort of helter-skelter all over the place. There are a number of food pantries around, so maybe some of them would try to find neighbors to get food for them. Some of them have distant family. I think, thinking of one woman who joined this summer, and her daughter had been doing Grubhub and meal deliveries from restaurants for her, which for a treat, that's great. But for every day, it kind of adds up. Yeah, and then you get a lot of, you know, salt and sugar and things like that.
Sure, sure. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. It's such important work that you're doing, and I know it's just never ending, but just know that what you're doing is just so important for
Thank you.
this area.
I saw a question from Mimi. It looks like I might have one
Oh.
more minute to answer. She asked about decorating the bags.
Yeah.
Not exactly. When we switched over as we grew and we needed to change procedures, we no longer use paper bags, so they're harder to decorate. We used to have kids and senior groups and so forth decorating the bags for us. It's super charming. We're doing now more cards that we slip in, or napkins. So people are regularly contributing wonderful things. The 2 days before Thanksgiving, we got a box from a woman named Dawn in Pennsylvania. And I opened it up, and there were over 100 cards in there that she had personally handwritten, you know, beautiful little cards, some of them hand decorated, some by kids. And she had written, you know, these are hard times, be strong, stay safe. So we're able to get those out to clients. So we're still getting treats and nice artwork out, but it's not on the outside of the bag anymore.
And the last question I have for you is, So with Meals on Wheels, how does it work? Do people call in and request a meal, or are there referrals as well? Like, hey, my neighbor I know needs help, and can you help them, kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely. So Mimi asked about, sort of tickled me to mention that, yes, absolutely, we are happy to accept more. And our clients never tire of charming cards, and just knowing that they're not forgotten by the community, that they, they might be tucked away in their home and unable to get out, but there are people thinking of them. So absolutely. And referrals come from all over the place. So we get a lot of calls from people concerned about their family members. They call from all over the country. They might be 3 blocks away, or they might be in Texas or Washington State. And they say, my aunt, my father, whoever, needs your meals. And then we set up with them. We have maybe about 10% of our meals, we get contributions every month from the relative who's living distantly. And of course, these days, distant can be not very far away because of the virus. Yeah. And was there another part of the question you asked?
I was just wondering if you've got referrals, or if the people call themselves, or.
We get a lot of self-referrals. So people just call up and say, I need meals. We also end up acting as a clearinghouse for a lot of the programs. People will call us and they might be anywhere. And so we do the research and help them find the program that's closest to them.
Oh, great.
So we get probably 5 calls a week where we're referring on, but we coach them on who to call and give them some numbers. A lot of self-referrals. We get a lot of social worker referrals. And every now and then a doctor or a politician will call up.
Right.
All over the place.
Well, Ruth, thank you so much for the work that you're doing and all your volunteers. It's really appreciated. And thanks for coming on today.
Thank you.